you hear and see on movies that people are screaming and asking for help. It doesn't happen that way. They just drift underneath the water and their lungs fill up, and then it's a matter of somebody saving them and helping them. It happens fast and it is silent. So two people could think that they're watching but having a conversation, and it happens right there, literally a foot away.
Hi everyone, it's Amy Valdivia, and today we are celebrating the Upland Chamber's Just Ask Upland podcast. That's right, this is where we celebrate our members and the fact that we are the best chamber in the Inland Valley. Did you hear that? Voted the best chamber in the Inland Valley, and we are here to highlight all of our business owners. Today we have Miss Rene Nowell of RSL Aquatics, who, I might add, was the Small Business Person of the Year. Bam! Woo! Work it, girl. And she is here to tell us all about her business, who she is, and how she gives back to our community. Thank you so very much for being with me today.
You're welcome. I'm excited as well.
This is awesome. Okay, first and foremost, RSL Aquatics, Rene Nowell. Who are you? Where did you start? And tell me how you got here to RSL.
Ooh, could be a long story here.
It's okay. We're here.
Literally started when I was 16 years old. Went through college. I worked for the city of Rancho Cucamonga. Ended up working in my backyard for 24 years. Got to the point where I just exploded. Exploded to the point of what's next. So now we ventured into Upland and opened up RSL. And that's how we're here.
Working in your backyard. You mean swimming lessons in your pool?
Yes. As a side job, I worked for the school district for 11 years, but raising kids, there's club sports, there's all these other things that you need money. So always had swimming lessons as a side gig. Just ended up exploding. I think sometimes in the world, you think you're going to go and be a fine artist and you're going to go be a teacher, but really the world kind of says, no, this is where your talents lie, listen to me. And that's really how I've arrived at where I'm at.
So the universe said, by the way, you're going to be an entrepreneur.
Yes, it did.
And water is involved. Tell me, growing up, were you always around water other than the swimming pool back home?
Yes, at the river, Colorado River.
Right.
Probably every other weekend. My parents took us out there, even in the wintertime. All the way to always being in a swimming pool, the ocean here, and then joining the swim team by the time I was in high school. Okay. And that's where it took off. Once I was on the swim team, doors just opened, lifeguarding license, into teaching swimming.
And what was your event?
Actually, I was good at the fast stuff. So the 50 frees, the 50 backstrokes, the fast stuff.
You were completely exposed to the entire pool, all the different races.
Yes.
Swimmers, they want you to learn every stroke. So immediately you became certified. And
in lifeguarding, yes.
Right.
And then underneath that, and it's kind of a little twist here. It was actually my husband now, but at the time my boyfriend's mother that actually drew me into teaching swimming lessons. She did it in her own backyard and then knew that I was on the swim team, drew me in. From that point on, literally from the age of 16, have just been doing it all of these years.
So when other kids are a babysitter
Yes.
to earn their $5 an hour, right?
Yes.
You decided to teach people swim lessons.
Yes.
Okay. Now, fast forward all these years later, you were a business owner before RSL.
Yes.
And what did you do then?
The teaching of the swimming lessons.
Okay, so it was truly local, staying at home
Yes.
that way. Okay.
Yeah, in my backyard.
And then how did you find RSL and what made you decide to jump into this?
Literally got so big out of my backyard, 127 kids a day for a good 4 months out of the year, 6 days a week. Got to that point where we were just exploding. So then again, the decision making, like, is it time? So then we searched for properties, and we were searching in Rancho Cucamonga, and it used to be Rancho Swim Lessons or Rene's Swim Lessons. That's where RSL comes from. Finding the property on Foothill Boulevard, that's how we were able to grow. Now at this point in the backyard, I was touching 127 lives, saving lives. Right. Now I'm able to do up to 400 in a day. So the amount of lives that we're changing is really where this is all based. So I feel how I've grown to where I am today is I've never thought of it as a business. It's always been about the individual student.
Go
That's
ahead.
where I get verklempt.
Yes.
So right now, it's always been about the student, not about the money. And what I do, and what I've teach other instructors to do, is save that child's life with the amount of time that we have, and that has turned into what we are right now. But it's never, like I said, it's always about the student, never been about the business. So we do what we do wholeheartedly, and the money comes. So it's never been the other way. It's never been a business plan, and then we add the students. It's always been true to my heart to teach the students, and then the money has come, and it's allowed us to be blessed to where we are now.
Tell me what these classes are that you're saving these students with.
They're saving lives. So in the United States, there's up to 10 people that die a day. So right now, those are
From
tragic.
drowning?
From drowning, yes, from drowning. So those are accidents that could be prevented. And again, going back to where this stems from. Swimming lessons not only can save lives, but it also creates
Strength and confidence,
yes,
I would presume.
Confidence. That's where I was going with that, was confidence. So teaching a child to swim actually saves their lives. So making a dent in those statistics of 10 people a day drowning in the United States, making a dent in that is huge. That's on my heart. But not only when we're talking about death, nobody wants to talk about death. But not only does that happen, there's another 20 in the same day that are revived, but then the lack of oxygen, there's something that's gone wrong in that scenario too. So trying to give knowledge to as many people, community people as possible, to get swimming lessons so they can overcome and become strong swimmers to overcome those challenges if an emergency happens.
You have many classes that you offer. Tell me about them.
Yeah, so I like to start as early as possible. Our age limit starts at 6 months all the way to 99 years. I think the sooner you start them, the kids are sponges. So if you start them and you get it in their ritual, they know what to do. By 2 years old, we have children at RSL that are swimming a full 25 meters at 2 years old, which is amazing. I know what we do at RSL is different from other places. In traditional other venues, they have a lot of levels that you do. I basically have 3 levels. So we have our parent and me, which is also kind of beginner. So one's with a parent, one's not. Beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And within that allows our instructors to then take the burden of knowing what the children need. And in that, I don't do a lot of stuff that other places do. So we don't do floating on your back. We don't do side stroke. We don't do elementary backstroke. My main focus is to make a difference if a child falls in the water. They're not going to be prepared with goggles. They're going to be in a pretty party dress. And if that happens, the children that come through RSL know to fall in, turn around, and climb out. We don't spend any time on floating on your back. I feel like I can accomplish that sometimes within a 2-week time zone or timeline if they had that accident or that emergency. Wow. So starting at 6 months, we start and then go into beginner, parent and me, beginner, intermediate, we start arms. By the time they get to advanced, if you ask a child to float on their back, and I'm talking 2, 3, 4 years old, they can because they're so confident. So I don't want to spend 6 months, 8 months just on that one task. In less amount of time, I can give them skills that could make a difference and save their life. And that is really where we focus.
Hence the fact that you were talking about water safety and the 10 deaths, because I can envision that. How many stories have we all heard that we really don't want to talk about?
Yeah.
You know, oh my gosh, this is what happened. Reality is, it is.
Yeah.
It's the family party.
Yes.
Or the big birthday party.
Yes.
And we're running around focused on the cake. We're running around focused on this, that. Let's open presents. And nobody paid attention to little Johnny or little Susie who decided to go look at the water.
Yep.
And fell over.
And it's silent. It's nothing like when you hear and see on movies that people are screaming and asking for help. It doesn't happen that way. They just drift underneath the water and their lungs fill up, and then it's a matter of somebody saving them and helping them. It happens fast and it is silent. So two people could think that they're watching but having a conversation, and it happens right there, literally a foot away. 90% of the accidents that happen out there are that scenario. So it's quick, it's silent, it's preventable, and that's where I've grown to where we are, because I know we can make a difference. I know going from my backyard from 127 students to 400 students makes that difference.
It does, and we are grateful for that, let me tell you, because I have been in classes where I've watched a swim instructor and a child with a paddleboard on the edge of the pool, and she hit it on purpose to make that child fly into the pool.
Yes.
And I panicked. When that child is able to save themselves, it's an amazing thing.
Yes.
So thank you for what you're doing for our children.
You're very welcome.
And let me tell you, now I want to talk about what you're doing for all of the children, because yes, this is necessary for the babies. Yes, of course we want the seniors involved. You work with the seniors,
Yes.
right?
All ages, yes.
And make sure that they're safe and getting some exercise. But you're unique in the fact that you reach the community to teach. You use children in the community. You use the teenagers, the 16-year-olds just like you, to get started, and you teach them. Tell me about what your thought process was behind that.
It's not only for the students that come to us. It also, being a part of the community is part of how, in my dream of growing bigger, is reaching and teaching more people to do what I do. And so RSL is able to do that. So I am able to outreach to the other 16-year-olds, like you said, like I started at 16, other 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and get them the knowledge. So literally it's just the spiral effect that is going to, the positive outreach that I'm trying to do just reaches more than just RSL. It goes out into the community. And I'm able to give jobs, first-time jobs, that are amazing jobs. That's literally what I started doing. So allowing local swimmers, thank you. Swimmers, water polo players, I usually pull from the background, so it's their love already, that it makes it easy to teach them because it's already within them to love the sport. And that helps give jobs and
make families happy.
Yes.
Okay, so this is where I get to do my little plug, shameless plug, because mamas like me get the opportunity to say thank you for giving our children their very first job, the opportunity to realize, oh, we might be a teacher. We might have that inside. And the most important part for me, my daughter is learning from a dynamic business owner, a woman who's strong, a woman who is learning that this is who I am. This is where I come from. Right?
Yes.
And you can realize your dream.
I'm living it, living my dream.
Okay, as we're wiping our eyes.
I know.
Reel it in, girls. How do you realize that dream? There was one step, a big step, from the backyard to the venue.
It was a scary step.
That piece right there is what I want to make sure our listeners are hearing. What she did as a business owner, people don't think and people don't realize, because all they see is the front picture. They see this really pretty venue with all the colors and the logo. There's some hard work behind it that happened in her backyard, but there was money and life-changing events that occurred that I want to share with you in order to make it all happen.
So, scary thought, this dream. How do you make it come true? You sit down and what are you worth? What's my house worth? What's our 401k worth? What's our stock? What's our savings worth? We literally looked at it all. Sat down, got help. How were we going to make this big leap? I say often that I grabbed my husband's hand and we jumped off the cliff. We had some help on making those decisions, and even at one point, my husband said, "We're not selling our house. We lived there 24 years, almost paid off. We sold our house. We liquidated anything worth value to grow what we have," and that was a scary thing. We're not young. We're not just starting out in our career. I have young 20-year-old children that were in college. We're middle age. So right now, to just empty everything out, it was a big leap of faith. But we took it. I knew I had something. I knew the growth that I had in my backyard, the potential for it to be so much more was there. So the belief in that I could just make it happen is it's a huge thing that I know for many is very, very scary. And sometimes when you just know it in your heart, you have to follow it. And there's a chance that it could flop. And so far we've been blessed. Absolutely blessed, and up and running through COVID, through all of it. We're fine. We're living, we're working, we have an amazing facility. So it just takes that big leap of faith, and yeah, you gotta liquidate everything.
Wow. I want to talk about that liquidation because that really started penciling out 2019.
Yes, October of 2019, yeah.
Timing is everything, right?
Oh gosh,
We're in the pandemic.
Well, it hadn't started yet. It started by March.
And we're liquidating
everything in October.
We're opening up a swim school where people are touching near each other, close to each other. You can't mask up in the pool.
Yeah, we did at first though. We were able to wear clear masks, but that summer, the summer of 2020, when we were able to open, actually some horrifying facts happened that the government actually gave us an email saying you can be essential. So that summer, with nobody taking swimming lessons, the numbers skyrocketed of deaths, of drownings. Oh. So I know that's not, again, stuff that not very many people know, not talked about, but right. We were actually contacted that summer saying you're allowed to be open. But in that time, we had to do certain things. We did wear a clear face shield, which was kind of hard with kids, but we were able to open, and everybody that followed me from the backyard was still following, waiting for me to be open. So the second the doors open, we were full. So it was hard to come about that, but it was a blessing in disguise because that helped us through that time of no money coming in too.
Right. How many students were you able to teach at a time?
22 students every 30 minutes, and then in advance we had 12. So that's how we're hitting our 400 in a day. So and like I said, immediately as soon as the doors opened, I had close to 30 kids, double that, close to 60 kids in an hour. And we're open from 9 in the morning till 7 at night. So that's, like I said, how we're able to get 400, but immediately we were full.
And you continue pacing this way?
Yes.
And actually more?
Yes. Hopefully this summer will be a little bit more, just trying to get the word out. I know a lot of clientele from moving from my backyard here in Upland. We had changed our name to RSL, and it was Rancho Swim Lessons. Prior to that, Swimming Lessons with Rene. So I think we lost a little bit of clientele there, but just being out in the community and outreaching in all the events through the city and through the chamber, we're just growing and growing and growing. And that's hitting the dreams that are going to keep us alive.
This growth, you're busting at the seams.
Yes.
And one of the things that I've learned because of our own personal journey is those students come one, come all for an interview.
Yeah.
Because you want to use the youth in your community.
Yes. Giving them the opportunity that I had to start, and even if it doesn't become where they're a business owner of an aquatic center, it's still an amazing position to be able to learn how you can change a child's life. I think that right there, no matter what level, if we're at parent and me, all the way up to an adult, anywhere in between, teaching them life-saving skills that can change their life. Also training them to be able to go on to swim team or water polo, becoming good at it, getting into college. There's so much that we do, not just saving lives. That's a big, huge part of it, but all these other little niches that we do make a difference in people, and you see it almost immediately. So teaching and doing what we do is very satisfying, very self-fulfilling.
You know, saving lives isn't just in the water. There will be those children that are your instructors.
Yes.
That will save themselves.
Yes.
In other scenarios.
Yes.
What they learn from you as they're walking around and watching you, because let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this woman, she's a dynamo. She's walking around and she's coordinating. Tell me what your day is like, because I know what I'm envisioning, and yeah. I know what I've seen and heard. I want you to tell the listeners what your day is like.
I can't, I'm not a person to sit still. So I am involved in the city and in the chamber, interviewing new students, or new employees.
Right.
Getting back, we do a lot of donations in the community, so being a part of that. Also on a personal side, at one point in my life I was going to be an artist, so I try to get that in. So I try to take a little break and do some painting. So my days are busy. They go by really quick. And then currently I'm in the pool from 2 to 7 at night, so the morning half is returning emails, phone calls, making sure staff is good. So I'm busy, but I'm that person that if I'm still, something's wrong. So I gotta keep going.
So I shouldn't be calling you at 5 o'clock asking you if you wanted to run to dinner or anything like that.
Well, maybe, but I gotta pencil you in the future.
You mentioned art.
Yes.
I know you, the creative brain, the master that I know. Art is very near and dear to your heart.
Yes. Yes, it is.
That was your path, true?
Yes. Yes. As a young child, that's what I thought I was going to be, as an artist. I went to Otis Parsons. I studied in Paris. Still to this day create.
Go big or go home.
Yes. Yes. Everything that I do, I need it to visually please me. I just have that little niche about myself. I love to make things look beautiful, and I have a high standard for what I do. So it's just natural to me to do that.
I can imagine go big or go home when you're in Paris. Hello.
Yes. Yes.
What a fantastic thing and place to be.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience. What did you learn there?
It was amazing. Well, we studied the artists. We didn't do very much art, but just studied the artists. And just in that and the Louvre and all of the amazing stuff there, it's eye-opening. So you're studying yourself, but when you see just century-old amazingness, it makes those levels go big or go home. It makes you rise yourself to those levels because you know what is out there. You know how to make yourself better and bigger and set those standards higher. And I feel like I live my life that way. My standards are high because I think that we're capable of that. And I think when I set my standards high, the people around me tend to do the same thing. So going back into teaching the young youth, it helps them. It helps them. It helps my students, because right now a 2-year-old needing to swim, they can. They're 100% capable. So setting your standards higher, they can do it. If they can walk and talk, they can swim. It all kind of just goes back. The things that I've learned, it just has come to where it is right now, but it all has played a part. All the little niches of everything that I've done and the high standards.
Your student instructors needed to hear just that. I hope that we're able to pull that piece out and run it on a loop for them when you're interviewing them, because it's true. Give it everything you've got.
Yes. Why not? What are you going to leave behind? Do the best you have on a day-to-day basis.
Are you listening, young ones? This is what she's teaching. This is a learning moment, a teaching moment. My goodness. Thank you. That's amazing.
You're very welcome.
That was awesome. Where can we find you? How can everybody reach out to you?
RSL Aquatics. We are on Foothill Boulevard, 331 East Foothill Boulevard. Foothill before Euclid, or right around Euclid, depending on what area you're coming from.
And you're serving which communities?
Oh, all the communities around. We literally have Rancho Cucamonga, we have Upland, we have Claremont, we have Laverne, we have Fontana, we have people driving in from Palm Springs, we have people driving in from Apple Valley. This family that's from Palm Springs is amazing. They actually bought a motorhome and they drive in and they stay the night. And I don't know where they stay the night, and they come Saturday and Sunday. So they're that dedicated. I think they have 4 or 5 kids. So dedication to find what we do, and how I explained earlier, the difference of what we do. We kind of cut the fat and we get to the point of teaching what needs to be taught. No fluff.
I think after the podcast, we're going to have to sit down and we're going to have to pencil out your new business,
Yes.
growing RSL, which
Yes.
is what I want to hear. What's the next step? Because I can envision RSL in Palm Springs, across the nation. Here I am already putting together your business plan. What is your business plan, my friend?
I need more people.
Yes.
Right now I'm content at doing good at what we're doing, right? Keeping the standards high, getting involved in the city more, just the outreach. There's a ton of people moving into this area. We have a plethora of people that I still need to get to here. At one point, when I feel it on my heart, I possibly see it in the future to grow bigger, but I want to master what we're doing right now.
Learn your craft.
Yes, 100%.
That is the message to pass on to the young bucks that you're teaching.
Yes.
Learn your craft and
Yes.
learn it well
Yes.
before you grow. We talked about that time when you chose to liquidate life
Yes.
to start a business. There are certain steps and certain people and certain organizations that you have to reach out to help grow that business. And we know networking happens to be center in the way you run your business and how you've grown it. The Upland Chamber of Commerce is proud to have you as a member. Tell me about your time with us and how it's impacted your business.
Well, it's been amazing. They actually outreached to me. Didn't really even know, like in everything that I've gone through, didn't know how much that the chamber can help me reach the community. So they actually came to me, and I, with open arms, said, yes, let's do all this. And I've gotten very involved, and I have loved that. I've made wonderful friends, been able to do programs through the chamber and be a part of the community that's then helping RSL Aquatics. It's been amazing. It literally has. I think that's the growing step for RSL that I didn't even know that I needed to do, and has 100% been worth it. And I outreach to other businesses for them to understand working together is how we make this happen. You know, you don't just have to be out there on your own, and you can ask questions of other businesses that have been around. So the chamber has been a huge, huge step in my growth at RSL.
Well said, partnering with those in the community, and we are grateful to have you as a member. We just adore you, and we know that you're always giving back to our community, so we thank you for that. You're here in Upland. Are you on social media?
Yes.
Tell me.
On Facebook and Instagram, and actually we're family run and operated. My son actually does my social media for us.
Okay. As RSL Aquatics.
Yes, RSL Aquatics. If you look up RSL Aquatics on Instagram, Facebook, rslaquatics.com, that's how you would get to us.
And it's RSL Aquatics.
Yes.
Plural.
Yes.
.com.
Yes.
Well, this has been amazing. I'm so grateful for your time today and what you're giving to the community. Hello, everybody, the small business of the year. There's a reason for it. Do you see? The common thread amongst our business owners in the Chamber of Commerce is that we give back, and we want to use our community members, and we want to support them in any way that we can. So we appreciate the fact that not only are you caring and giving safety lessons to our children, you're teaching the next generation how to be their own business owners and teachers as well. So I'm so very, very grateful for your time. Thank you for being here today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Yay.